Who likes telling people what to do? Those people are the administrators, the born leaders. They can also be called the facilitator, organizer, ruler, leader, superintendent. I remember back when I first joined the workforce, there were some office clerks who had been there a long time and they could have put in for the supervisor jobs, but they didn't. And I didn't understand why they didn't put in for them. I thought they were missing out on a good opportunity, but they said that they were not interested in the supervisor jobs. Now I understand. Now it all makes sense. Those people did not have the gift of administration. Those people had the gift of serving. They were happy and comfortable as an office clerk. So they did the right thing by staying where they were. There was also another lady who did have the gift of administration. Now, back then, I didn't know anything about these gifts in Romans 12, but I saw that she loved being in charge. She loved being the manager. And when I read the characteristics of the administrator that are in the book, I thought, gosh, she has all of these characters. That is so amazing how the people who wrote this book, when they researched the information for this book, they saw the same thing that I'm seeing. This lady respected authority. She went from one project to the other. As soon as one thing was done, she'd get started on something else. She did not dilly dally. She loved being the leader. She loved leading the projects. And she wanted all resources to be gainful, whether it be people or other type of resources. She wanted them to be gainfully employed. She was definitely a go-getter. She got things done. She made things happen. She was the leader. And that's what made her happy and comfortable, was being the leader. And not just her, I've seen other administrators in my life, and they also had these same characteristics. Now I'm going to read the characteristics of the administrator that is in the book. Is highly motivated to organize that for which he's responsible. So yes, the administrator is definitely motivated and they love organizing, getting things done, leading projects. Yes, they're definitely motivated to do that. Expresses ideas and organization in ways that communicate clearly. Prefers to be under authority in order to have authority. Remember what I said, she respected authority. They understand, honor, and respect authority structures. Will not take responsibility unless delegated by those in authority. Will assume responsibilities if no specific leadership exists. Especially enjoys working on long-range goals and projects. Is a visionary person with a broad perspective. Oh yes, I saw that. That person I told you that had the gift of administration, she had a lot of vision for that company. She had a lot of plans and she made things happen. Easily facilitates resources and people to accomplish tasks or goals. Remember what I said, they like for everyone to be gainfully employed. They don't want any resources to go to waste. She made sure everybody was gainfully employed. All people and all resources were put to good use. Enjoys delegating tasks and supervising people. will endure criticism in order to accomplish the ultimate task, has great zeal and enthusiasm for whatever he is involved in. Yes, they are excited and enthusiastic, and they make sure everything gets done. Finds greatest fulfillment and joy in working to accomplish goals. Is willing to let others get the credit in order to get a job done. Prefers to move on to a new challenge once something is completed. That's what I said earlier. They don't dilly-dally. Once something is done, they go do something else. They don't let anything be wasted, no time be wasted or anything. Constantly writes notes to self. Is a natural and capable leader. Knows when to keep old methods going and when to introduce new ones. Oh yes, I've definitely seen that. They will change things if it needs to be. Enjoys working with and being around people. Oh yes, they love people. Wants to see things completed as quickly as possible. Yes. They do not like delays. They want to get it done and move on to something else. Does not enjoy doing routine tasks. They do not like repetitive work with no challenge. Now I'm going to talk about the problems of the administrator that the book talks about. Becomes upset when others do not share the same vision or goals. Develops outer callousness due to being a target for criticism. Can regress into using people to accomplish own goals. And remember what I said, they like for everyone to be gainfully employed, and they don't want any resources to go to waste, whether it be human or other type of resources. So if they don't be careful, they can go too far and actually use people to accomplish goals. Tends to drive self and neglect personal and family needs. Neglects routine home responsibilities due to intense interest in job. So those are the possible problems of the administrator if they're not being used for the right reason. Next is examples of this gift in the Bible. In Judges 4 and 5, and I'm not going to read it obviously because it's too long, but it's talking about Deborah. She was a judge. And I think it's self-explanatory why someone with the gift of administration would make a good judge. Now, some of these gifts overlap into, some of these jobs overlapped into more than one gift. If you remember back when we were studying the person with the perceiver gift, we said that they would make a good judge because they have insight, but also the person with the gift of administration would also make a good judge. And I think that's self-explanatory because they are in charge, they make decisions. Now I'm going to talk about an example of this gift in real life. Whenever we're running a household, whether we're a working mom, a stay-at-home mom, a working wife, a stay-at-home wife, you're an administrator. Sometimes the husband is the administrator of the household. Some people are good administrators and some people are not. Now I'm going to talk about Jesus with this gift. Jesus was an administrator. He had all these characteristics. He organized his followers. He trained his disciples. He sent them out 72 by 2. He was highly motivated to fulfill his mission. He was a man under authority and taught about authority. In Matthew 28:18, it says, Jesus said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. He was an effective leader. In Matthew 10:5-8, the 12, Jesus sent out with the following instructions: heal the sick, raise the dead, freely give. He endured criticism for the long-range goal of the cross. In Matthew 20:28, this says the Son of Man came to give his life as a ransom for many. So those are examples of Jesus with this gift. Next is the body of Christ. In the body of Christ, the body part that the administrator is the shoulders. They have a lot on their shoulders. When doing a Bible study, the administrator will organize materials into his own special lesson plan, will bring in resource people for added interest, will cover broad subjects for a variety of aspects. When doing Sunday school, the administrator will be delighted to be in charge or be a department superintendent or teach an adult class. As a child, the administrator is stable, confident, sensitive, happy, enthusiastic, very verbal, expresses self easily, average to very good self-image, basically secure, practical, systematic, creative, wide areas of interest, both realistic and imaginative, obedient, gregarious, competitive, pleasing, studious, plans ahead, saves things, procrastinates, average to many friends, likes large groups, is a joiner, relates very well to all, tends towards broad relationships, good to excellent investigative, excellent leader, organizer, delegates, excellent student, excels, enjoys a challenge, has a wide range of interest, enjoys group sports and competitive sports, loves pets but not the routine care, is capable, responsible, honest, gregarious, likes doing things with others, likes family activities, loves accomplishments, makes lists, writes notes, and plans. Now I'm going to talk about jobs and careers that would be good for someone with the gift of administration. Remember, the administrator is the born leader. They love to organize, they love to plan, they love to delegate, they love telling people what to do, they love being in charge. So I think all of these jobs and careers are self-explanatory as to why an administrator would be good in these jobs. Number 1, politician. Number 2, lawyer or judge. Number 3, city planner. Number 4, school administrator. Number 5, hospital administrator. Number 6, personnel manager or HR director. Number 7, marketing executive or advertising executive. Number 8, hotel manager. Number 9, restaurant manager. Number 10, department store manager. Number 11, contractor. Number 12, recreation director or activities director. Now I'm going to talk about outside of our comfort zone. We sometimes have to act outside of our comfort zone. And before I talk about a good example, because I have a very good example of someone having to act outside of their comfort zone as an administrator. But before I get into that, I want to talk about why do we have to sometimes go out of our comfort zone? Why can't we always just act inside our gift and talent that God gave us? Why can't we just always be comfortable? Well, I have some theories as to why we sometimes have to act outside of our comfort zone. Why sometimes we have to do things that we're not talented in. Number 1, God lets us know we are not in a box. We can't say, I can't do that because I'm not gifted in that. That's not my comfort zone. Number 2, something might need to be done, and there might not be anybody there to do it. You might be the only one there to do it. So sometimes you just have to do things because there's nobody else there to do it. Number 3, God is with us always, not just when we're in our comfort zone. He's there helping us along the way, whether we're in our comfort zone or not. Number 4, I think God doesn't want us to get too comfortable and confident in our comfort zone. And then we might not be totally reliant on Him, thinking, oh, I'm good, I got this. But if we're doing something that's outside of our comfort zone, then we have to be more reliant on Him. It might cause us to have more faith and more trust in Him. So now I have an example of someone who had to act outside of his comfort zone. And I love this example. This is a really great example. And my example is Moses. He had to act outside of his comfort zone. He had to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. He obviously did not have the gift of administration, because he told God, I am not eloquent of speech. So God had to get his brother Aaron to do the speaking for him. But God did not back down and say, oh, you don't have to lead the Israelites out of Egypt because you don't have the gift of administration. No, God chose him and God went through with it. Even though God did not say, you're not properly equipped to do this, so you don't have to do it. No, he didn't. Instead, God said that he's the one that gives you the mouth to speak. So God equips us with whatever we need, whether we're in our comfort zone or not. So yes, I think that is an excellent example of someone who had to act outside of their comfort zone. Because don't you think it would have been so much easier for God to have chosen someone who had the gift of administration to lead the Israelites out of Egypt? But no, he chose Moses. And I'm sure Moses had to really rely on him heavily. And even if it had been someone who had the gift of administration, they still would have had to have relied on God heavily, because I'm sure that was no easy task, leading the Israelites out of Egypt. But Moses really had to have a lot of faith and rely on him really heavily. And he obviously was outside of his comfort zone. But I love that example. That is really an excellent example. Next is the test. The test will be in the description. If you take the test, let me know what your score is. If you don't take it, if you just know about your personality, if you are an administrator or not, let me know. If you are a full administrator, a partial administrator, or not an administrator at all. So that is all, and I will see you in the next gift.